the cloud. Good evening. I'm Glenda Carlin. You can find me on Facebook under my full name, Glenda Carlin Bussick. But since my late husband passed, I go by my maiden name, Glenda Carlin. And then this Course of Miracles and Dzogchen teachings I post on a YouTube channel. Glenda Carlin's A Course of Miracles YouTube channel. So if you can't come live, check out that YouTube channel. And we were just talking among ourselves before I started recording, and I realized a little bit how significant it is that each person that comes to the Zoom meeting in this live format, what it does. As we were talking, people were bringing up topics or asking questions, and I realized those should be, the Holy Spirit showing me those should be included in the teaching. So I'm going to try to remember. And if I haven't covered them, maybe raise your hand and remind me. But before we start, I want to take a moment of silence for all that are suffering in war zones and wherever, but in particular, Los Angeles, the fires that are there and the winds. And now my topic tonight is about every single thing is empty in its essence. In its essence, empty. And that means there's nothing there. There's no forms. But it means then there's no fire and no winds, right? But hey, we're living here in this physical world, in this seeming duality. And I learned this from Martha, from our daily Dzogchen meditation group out of LA. We can use our mighty Christ Buddha power to help our brothers and sisters and help all sentient beings. So in this moment of silence, just kind of lean back, and I'm going to say a few things, and I'm going to talk about what I experienced when she led us in a meditation. And what I recognized happened was, this great ray comes in each of us, this great ray light, column of light. And for me, it moves back and forth. So as I was in meditation with that group and she had us visualize the winds, well, first at Los Angeles, so my attention, my awareness, because I look at maps, particularly for this reason, to go to an area and send light and love, but to Los Angeles. So my attention went to Los Angeles, and then she had us, the fires, but then I just was there, leaned back in the physical form, but that great ray light, what it did, this is hard to describe, but what it did as it went back and forth, what I felt was that it was grinding the fires, and that's another word's called metabolizing, digesting. But grinding was the word that came to me. You know how when they olden days grind corn, and you saw those wheels and the grind that grinds, and I could just picture like my fingers grind. So the great ray, it was grinding, and this can be visualized. This is your power as well. It goes back and forth, grinding that light. Now, it can go back and forth and grind any illness you have, any worry you have. This can be used all kinds of ways, but this is just what happened there. And what I felt was a thickness and a density to the fire. And see why that's that way is in duality, these forms that are Christ mind, Buddha mind made up, get made up due to we layer beliefs and thoughts one right on top of another to make the solidify, or it's called contracite, contricize, or I often call it even concreting it. We're just concreting it into place, making thickness from the light. We're light beings. With this topic tonight is this essence that's empty, is this clear light, God spirit. But anyway, I could feel that denseness. It was getting ground and it got thinner and thinner. Then I could see minuscule particles fall to the earth and just melt like snowflakes melting in a lake. See, you can visualize this. This is your Buddha, Christ, God power. Then I did it to the winds, and then I called on ocean angels to bring water or do whatever they can. Now I'm not going to take a long time on this, but that was even though this teaching is of non-doing, non-striving, allowing, there are times you take your Buddha, God, Christ power and you help your brothers and sisters and yourself. Don't leave yourself out. Oh man. So our hearts, prayers, thoughts are with the firefighters, all the animals, birds, people. Bless their hearts. Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, enlightened beings, help each being, give them solace. Help them remember to just take a breath. It just kind of breaks your heart, doesn't it? Take a breath and just relax. But when in the middle of trauma, it's hard to remember. Just take a breath and relax. Because that relaxing, you're relaxing into this emptiness, which it's a misnomer, this word empty. This emptiness is complete fullness, wholeness, WHOLENESS, completeness of God, essence, spirit, this clear light. Now I made some notes. So while this came up about, oh, no, Barbie brought this up, is she was receiving a treatment and she remembered to take a breath and on the exhale go, ah. She didn't talk about how many times she did it because I talk about you can do it 3 times in a row, a deep in-breath. From the in-breath comes 2 inches below the navel up. Then on the long exhale, say AH, ah. Now, why this is powerful, and Barbie even commented, I had taught and teach this fact, AH is a seed syllable, a primordial sound from the beginning when the Son of God made the Garden of Eden. From that very beginning, that AH. AH may have been the breath that he put out to animate all these forms. I'm not sure, but AH is the seed syllable for Dzogchen as well. Very, very powerful. In one of those Zoom retreats I was in with that Lama Surya Das, these were probably on a Friday night, Saturday, and a Sunday. And during those Zoom retreats, there would be 6 different segments and there'd be a meditation with each one of them. And wow, later I thought about that. Boy, you sit in meditation with a group of people 6 times a day for a Friday night and 2 days. Things happen that loosen up that unconscious mind. And later you kind of feel like you've been run over by a truck. And I knew what had happened. All that stuff's loosened up, it's floating. Then you lean back and you process, you journal, because same names or images or things will show up that you practice saying, God, I love you, seeing through, being through the forms to the clear light of spirit they are, etc. But anyway, in that meeting, he said, take a breath, in breath, and on the out breath to go ah, say in all kinds of frequencies and like and then you say, well, nobody's listening, nobody can hear you. Just do it. And then he'd say, take another deep breath, and on the exhale, waller that on. Say, all different frequencies. Because see, all these chakras, all these light centers, they're different frequencies. We don't know what we're doing, and we don't know how these sounds vibrate to do whatever they're going to do, because this is a natural healing going on. So like on the third or fourth time, he says, now really take a breath. This is the last time, and really go for it. Really do it. I took a real deep in breath, and on that out breath, I was just almost screaming, in different frequencies. And all of a sudden, the sound took off by itself and went like, that sound was going all by itself. Only reason it stopped, he called us back to whatever we were doing. It floored me. But why I'm sharing this, why this came up with Barbie, is this is the universe, God source, Holy Spirit. I don't know who's God doesn't know any of this stuff's happening, so it has to be Holy Spirit or a higher Buddha nature. Is constantly, but the Course talks about, is constantly calling your name. It's calling you to come home, and it's chasing you. It's with you right here, right now. You don't have to go somewhere. You don't have to go to Tibet or Nepal or wherever. If you feel like it, you might do that. But it's right here under our feet, right here in your mind, right here. But anyway, that is the universe calling you. And somewhere in the Course, I kind of forget, Jesus talks about the call, that there's a call. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's literal. It's there unheard, but it's calling you. And see, your unconscious probably hears it, and ego kind of, the Course even talks about, that ego knows, he's not quite sure, but he knows there's something there that if you believed in it, he would no longer exist in your mind. You'd know he's there, but the reality we've been given to ego would get dispersed, which is in this teaching tonight. Every single thing, meaning all our bodies here, all your furniture in your house, everything you see is empty. Empty because there's just this clear light of spirit that seems to animate this form. But this form is just like a little flesh. If you hold your lip out, it's just a little flesh suit over some bones. It's just a hologram with all this light wanting to radiate and radiating out some, etc. But as in essence, these are dream figures. And in my email, I re-quoted something last week Lorraine and I were talking about. It's workbook lesson 15. It's about these images. These images sure as hell look real, and we do never put the body in harm's way. I practice the middle way and teach the middle way. If I need to go to the doctor, have a test, get different thoughts or blood tests or whatever it is, maintenance. I'm in on this maintenance thing. But while I'm there, I'm thinking about each person as God, and I love you. Holy Spirit, help guide all these people and let them help remember what they are. That's what we're practicing as you're there. But anyway, these are all images that are the God mind, the Christ Buddha mind has projected. Jesus uses the word projections, and Dzogchen uses the word projections, and uses the word illusion, hallucination, illusionary, dream light, a dream. But these are images that we have projected in this clear light. They're just floating here they're in this clear light, but they're animated by that clear light. So in essence, there's only clear light. There's only God's presence. There's only this pure emptiness. And that's the teaching of seeing through and being through, which is called Trechet in Dzogchen. In A Course in Miracles, it's called looking beyond the body, past the flesh, to this spirit that's here. That's what I'm talking about. Instead of fixating on these forms, look beyond the forms and think about this clear light God essence. And the more you do that, that's called being in the moment, moment to moment, short moments, many repeated times. I kind of forget what. Practice short moments repeated many times. And what you're doing is you're familiarizing yourself with what your essence looks like. This clear light, this spaciousness it's clear because it's pure, it's innocent, it's never done anything wrong, but it's right here under our feet. You can't believe it. So you're just imagining, visualizing, and this builds on itself. Instead of thinking thought after thought after thought and fixating on a form, you're thinking thought after thought as often as you can about spirit, clear light, and that builds on itself where your awareness gets strengthened, and your awareness once in a while will go into capital A awareness, where you see and get a glimpse of this clear light, the spaciousness of God mind that you are. This is your essence, your naturalness, your naturalness. But anyway, here's what Jesus says. My thoughts are images that I have made. So he's talking about getting back to the crux of this deal, are thoughts. My thoughts are images that I have made. It is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. You think them, and so you think you see them. This is how your seeing was made. This is the function you have given your body's eyes. It is not seeing, it is image making. It takes the place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions. Now that's workbook 15. I mean, you could spend, the next 2 months just sitting with workbook 15. And then there's a couple other things I'm going to quote from that are Dzogchen. But this is huge because just we think of, just a refrigerator. And and see what we're learning by meditating, setting up a daily meditation practice, learning when the mind wanders to go off to habits of going to the grocery store or what happened earlier that day, and bringing your attention, your awareness back to center, back to spaciousness. That's practicing short moments repeatedly many times. And then when you're off the cushion, you're walking around practicing being aware moment to moment of what you're doing while you're doing it. Then you'll recognize your mind goes off and thinks these thoughts. Who's thinking these thoughts anyway? Well, it's not you. It's the unconscious egoic mind. Now, granted, Holy Spirit's there, but we're predominantly talking about here that egoic mind is thinking thoughts unconsciously, and we've agreed with them, and then that makes habitual patterns. And the main one we've agreed to is that we're a body. So we keep thinking thoughts, we're a body, and we glue more words and thoughts together to make all those sentences. And these bodies, then the bodies have different roles. See, you're a wife, you're a partner, you're a mother, you do your work. And what came to me is what we're doing in our mind about these, gluing these thoughts together. Because I'm cleaning out my garage and gonna get so I can park my car in there and have a bicycle, and it's narrow, so I need to mount my bicycle on a hook on the wall. So when I'm standing there looking at this and I think of the word hook and then my bicycle, what happens as you start to contemplate truths more and more and more, things tend to start looking spiritual to you. And there's a spiritual, Leon talks about this, there's a spiritual understanding comes to you, how you look at these things. Well, how I looked at that was, well, a hook to hang my bicycle on. Look what we do. So in our mind, we put a hook. We could call a hook, you're a mother. Call that the mother hook. So then you have thoughts and beliefs about that, and those get laid on that hook. Here's all the things that reinforce that you're a physical body. That's this mother image. Woo, you got that hook going. Then you got another hook. You're this business owner, and you're laying those beliefs, thoughts, feelings. And now it doesn't mean we can't think, plan, and budget, but we stop when we recognize we're judging things, labeling things, not being spontaneous, not being natural. We're fabricating, manipulating. You still plan, think, and budget, but you're starting to recognize when the mind's off, labeling it good or bad, etc. But anyway, you got the business owner hook. You got the loved one hook if you're a wife, a husband, or a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend. There's that hook. Property owner. Picture what we've done in our mind. All these hooks laid with thoughts and beliefs, and they clog up the clear Christ, Buddha, God mind. But simply being aware that you thought a thought allows the thought, what I'm wanting you to teach, and for y'all to grasp quicker so you can save yourself years of work. As you recognize the mind went off to think in the past or the future, when you're aware of that, watch what happens. I want you to do is just kind of sit with how your mind's doing this, and how you sit with it is you practice walking around thinking, oh, I'm in the moment, I'm walking down my hallway, and then you recognize your mind went off to think about something that happened a while ago, and you're aware. Then guess what happens? That thought will liberate. It will naturally liberate. This is big, high teaching that I never got. But I'm getting it now I want to explain what's happening to my mind, how I'm seeing this. That's why that saying that Lama Surya Das came up with, awareness is curative and self-regenerating. I forgot to leave that. I left that out of this week's teaching email, but this is enlightenment's timeless evergreen secret. He calls it a secret. And it is, because people can teach it, but we just blow past it. But it's this moment-to-moment awareness of recognizing what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and then what you're hearing, and then recognizing what that mind is doing, that it goes off talking all by itself, judging these, or brings up something from the past that relates to whatever that experience you're doing right now. What the ego mind does, it always goes back and pulls memories that relate to whatever's happening right then. And then if we're not careful, we start gluing those together, and then we've got another big hook. We've gone back into the mind to the hook of that memory or whatever that deal was, and it's replaying those thoughts that are on that hook. You just watch how that goes. It's patterns, habitual patterns. But anyway, you'll catch on. You simply become aware, and though that thought, you're aware that thought is the past, and I'll say, oh, that's the past. It liberates. And then I'm back, I look, oh, there's the clear light. Now, you may need sticky notes around to remind you, oh, I'm looking and going to visualize that clear light's here. But what'll happen when you bring your awareness back to the now, those things that are around you are in the clear light. You start to see the big picture, the big generalization. You no longer are fixated on the trees of the forest, so you don't see the big forest. You're fixated on individual trees. So we're fixated on individual hooks that have been in that of these roles we're all doing and playing. And the biggest hook is you're a body. You're a body, and another hook is all these other images out there are other bodies. So that's it. So it's called subject and object. It takes two. So we have to have a hook, believe we're a subject, then go look out there to that there's a thing out there, an object, different bodies, a car, you name it, an object. Then we fixate and go on that, and then we start naming and labeling the object, talking about the car, all the car maintenance or whatever needs to happen to it. The mind will go off taking care of the car, because that's the ego wanting you distracted from this clear light space that you're wanting to become familiar with, but you're becoming aware. So anyway, awareness is curative. I love that word, curative. That means it cures you of this problem of duality, because you're awakening your awareness to be aware of your true essence and what your brothers are. Oh, another illustration that came to me as I am practicing more and more to stabilize, letting thoughts and feelings come and go. Because this lifetime, 70 years from me, I'm believing in these images and forms, etc., is the illustration of the ocean. Now, this can really help you if you could ask Holy Spirit to help you get a deep understanding of this. Is just visualize that your body, I usually do, this came to me to do lying in bed in the morning when I wake up, or you can do it at night before you go to sleep. I'm just lying in bed, but because I feel this movement of that great ray light, it comes in and it goes out. It's a movement. And I know it's carrying thoughts and feelings. It's carrying all, that's winds then, light energy. And within your breath, you got your breath energy. There's winds. And the mind's thinking these thoughts, they're being moved. They're being moved. Well, anyway, so there's this kind of flow, it feels like, this back and forth movement. Now, your natural state is this great ray light is rocking you. It's a rocking, it's a cradling, it's a comforting rest. It's a way of refuge, of rest, to just lay back and rest. Lean back and just rest and know that great ray light is holding you, cradling you, comforting you. And even you can picture as a child, you were cradled in your mother's arms and she just rocked you. Picture that, because that's the truth. This is just a representation of your naturalness. Your natural light will rock this form, comforts it, rests the weary heart and mind. But anyway, so I'm laying back in the bed, and the vision comes about the ocean, because I've heard that Lama Surya Das, and even in leaders in our Dzogchen group, they'll talk about the ocean, be like the ocean, waves. The waves just come and go. But here's what vision came is, so you're laying, picture your body's laying on the bed, not the physical bed, the bed of the ocean bed, the sand down there. It's just laying there. Just relax. It's laying there. Now, and your awareness is just watching. Well, first you feel there's a movement, because the waves are causing the water to move. So it's moving, but you're still. Your essence is the stillness, this purity, this clear light. It's still. It's resting. It's not moving. But these are the sense gates. These are this movement of, you can symbolize thoughts and feelings are the ocean waves, but the ocean waves are moving. So you feel a movement. The ocean waves are going back and forth. And you can visualize, if you're laying down there, I used to be a scuba diver, you're laying, if you're down there, there's fish down there. There's fish, there's coral, whales. I've never seen a whale, manatees, sharks. There's good ones. But don't go off on a negative. But what those represent, those fish, coral, the whale, are your thoughts and feelings. Now look what those fish are doing in the water. They're just coming and going. They're just coming and going in the water. Now, does the water reach out and grab the fish? No, sirree, do. Now, this is big. This is big. You want to sit with this because during the day, you want to recognize when you've reached out and you've grabbed onto something and you've damn made it real. You have grabbed onto it and you can just let your hand release it. Let it go and think about, oh, I grabbed onto a fish. I grabbed onto a fish or a whale. If it's some big ass problem you've had your whole life where you've judged a family member, a spouse, a co-worker, a boss, what you name it, there, and we have those things hanging around, then whenever you think about those, you've really gone to a hook that has layer upon layer upon layer of these thoughts and feelings that you've not let go of. They're still glued together, grabbed. Well, you can just let go, and be aware of that water, that water that's there. That's just the essence that's allowing the fish to come and go and flow. So those waves, of course, can be varying strength. So that's kind of called about the karmic winds. So depending on karma, waves can be ferocious or gentle. Depends. But it's, again, you can write this and stick it somewhere important. It's not the card you're dealt, it's how you play the hand. So you could say it's not the karmic hand you're dealt, it's how you play the hand. It's huge because then you're not allowing ego to label good and bad. You sure played a part in that. Look at all that stuff you did, or, oh, look how horrible that person is that did that crap to you. Whoa. I mean, ego just goes to town, ripping apart you and them, the self and the other, the two-ness, the hook and the object. So if you let go at any moment, you can let go of the thought, but also you can let go of the subject, which is that you're a body. That's the biggest hook. Just let go. Because we got lesson 15. Jesus is telling you this, you're image making. This takes the place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions. Now, we're never putting our body in harm's way because you prick this with a knife, it'll damn bleed. You cut your heart, you'll damn die unless you get some help. So we're not doing that crap. That is just, but this is just how we've solidified clear light, the essence of our being, into a firm structure. That's the power of this God, Christ, Buddha mind, that instead you can use it short moments, repeated many times, where you bring your attention to the moment and recognize, what the hell am I doing? And what am I thinking while I'm doing it? It's life-changing. And some of you are starting to notice it. It's life-changing. You could save yourself years of work because I used to talk, about all the things, 10 years of meditation or um, whatever. No, this is called moment to moment living awareness, because what we've done as an ego is, in that moment, you see your true nature, that clear light. But ego wants to keep living. And so it's off thinking thoughts. It's off thinking. That's what it does. It's called conceptual thinking. But what I'm talking about, this practice of moment-to-moment awareness and daily meditation where you bring your attention back from wandering back to center, that's moment-to-moment awareness too. But oh my, between the two of them, those are the two things that Lama Surya Das does every day, even after 50 years of practice and learning to become a Lama. That's what he does. So why don't we do two simple things instead of being wandering off to all these other things? Granted, you're integrating this, and if you need psychotherapy and a therapist to help, I don't deny that, but just incorporate the visualizations and the thinking of yourself as God, as the still essence, the still pure essence that you are, and that we all are. Now, I want to read this, a thing of, I want to, is this one here, page 1, page 2. Oh, this is from Tukul Urgent Rinpoche. And what he's speaking about is this thing about not being fixated on everything versus a yogi does not fixate on anything. Here's his quote. Complete openness, called Zangtal in Tibetan, means not attached to anything, not fixating on anything. This is precisely the opposite of an ordinary person's frame of mind, clinging to and fixating on everything. The openness of Rigpa, that's what I'm talking about here, this vast spaciousness, this vast emptiness. The openness of a yogi does not fixate on anything. It does not hold on to anything. We need to grow used to this type of openness. Let your 5 senses be wide open, wide awake, and yet thought-free. Remain in that state utterly open. Now, see, these people are enlightened holy teachers. This Tukul Urgent Rinpoche and this 16th Karmapa, both were Lama Surya Das's, some of his gurus. So that's why he quotes from them and things he learned from them. I'm passing to you. This is called a lineage. This is holy beings, how they see things. And he's saying, not attached to anything, because see, suffering comes because of ignorance. Ignorance, we're ignorant of what we are. We think we're a body instead of a clear light spirit. So ignorance is that ignorance. But then due to that ignorance, guess what? Because we think we're a body and there's a self and another, then we have this objects. Then we're out grabbing onto an object, attached, clinging to an object. Doesn't mean you can't have a house, can't have furniture, can't have a car. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're looking at how you feel about it, how your feelings are. And if you're fixating on it, just wrote over and over and over, habitually thinking about something without a space between you and it, and realizing that thing is animated in my mind from this clear light. It's really not there. It's really not there. Now, we're not going to walk in front of a car, but this is the fact. It's one big hologram. You put one of those headsets on, you think you're scuba diving or snow skiing, and you're just run into a wall real quick because you're snow skiing and scuba diving and doing all those things. That's what the mind is. The mind is looking at all this and thinking it's the real deal, but you're retraining your mind. But this is a moment-to-moment practice that builds on itself. But anyway, now where's another quote? I want to quote that Tukul 16th Karmapa. Where's the Karmapa one? Page 7. Here's the karmapa. Here's the karmapa. All dharmas mean truths, and every single thing is empty in essence. This is this whole quote that I was contemplating. And being empty cannot be, grasped by the mind. Now, see, this sounds so simple, but I recommend you kind of contemplate. This is number 3 in that email on page 7. Picture this. If you look at it, there's this clear space and none of these forms are real, is there anything to grab onto? Right. There's nothing to grab onto. That's powerful because that's the perspective I want you to have during the day where you're reminding yourself what's real. And that's when you focus and look at the clear light of spaciousness. That's my natural state. That's my natural mind, my Buddha mind, my Christ God mind. These forms are just play toys. We just made play toys, right? See, just playing with them. Now, one thing that came after I wrote this email was I recognized I didn't talk about that we're not being fixated on these objects. So a person could just sit in their chair and in non-allowing, never the hell want to do something again, right? Not, I mean, that, but see, that is not taking full advantage of what the Son of God did. The Son of God made a Garden of Eden for us to play with and enjoy and enjoy. Now, granted, we've taken it the wrong direction, but we aren't. So you can enjoy. This is not a static life. This is an ecstatic, joyful, a joyful life, right? Because see, we're not letting ego turn it about this ignorance and suffering. You've really screwed effing this up. It just was some play toys that I looked at incorrectly. I'm coming back to the clear light, but I can enjoy this clear light images. Your form, like I go to the health club, I go to the grocery store, I'm laughing with people, talking with them, because then you're just talking, you're just spontaneous, and your heart is open. So you end up being naturally loving and empathetic and receptive. And then you read between the lines and then you ask a few questions. You're not overdoing things and you're not underdoing things. It's a balance. But see, this is, and then you're spreading your light and love. And see, you can, this is a huge service because what's the Hanuman, the monkey god says, when I remember what I am, I'm God. When I don't remember what I am, I'm serving God by serving man. You're serving man by remembering what you are, but also then you're happy, joyful, lighthearted. But you can, and then just, I try to remember, I don't pressure myself, but I'll try to pause there and remember, oh, their spirit, their clear light. And I see through their form, or I'll call them God silently if I can't in that moment go to that clear space. Oh, it's powerful because you're talking to your unconscious mind. Besides, you're talking straight to them, to their heart. Oh, man. So I want to, that I left out. I only had a couple sentences about enjoying this embodiment. That's why this is called natural body, natural heart, and mind are joint. Heart is joined with mind. So you're thinking loving thoughts, you're hearing lovingly. These 5, 6 senses are lovingly done. And natural breath and energy, because we're embodied that natural clear light is animating our form. We're embodying this and exuding this, giving this off. but just, oh, it's so beautiful. And so picture you're laying there on that ocean floor. I kind of forgot this. Everything is flowing through the form. All these images, they're just images. They're just images. Granted, we're not going to kick our toe on the wall, but these are images. So you're laying there, just get in the flow. This stuff, the flow's always here, but our mind's somewhere else. You've laid back, you're letting the flow go through you. For example, when Barbie does her treatment, the treatment's there, the nurses, the chair, whoever took her there, her husband, its stuff is flowing back and forth, free, because she's got an open, spacious mind. And that's what this teaching, I'm learning to be open and spacious, allowing, non-striving. You still can have plans and a budget. And like I planned, my handyman's coming, we're going to paint in the garage. I'm going to make a trip to the library to give some excess books. I mean, there's still these things go on. But as you become open, you're freer. Then you share. You don't need as many things, and you give and out. I find I'm cleaning stuff, giving stuff up. Because I recognize, see, I moved. Moving was a huge deal because, man, I was going through 30 years of stuff, right? That's a way of releasing. But as we live in our apartments, condos, wherever we live, if there's things we've recognized and come to mind that we could give away or get rid of, it's a way to unstick us. I've recognized as my mind's gotten freer, living moment to moment, being aware when I'm stuck in the past and coming back to the now, I then feel motivated to make this list of things that I've been meaning to do. But I was just kind of wore out from moving, remodeling an old house and then a new condo. I needed a little breather, but enough was enough. It was now time to get rid of some stuff, let somebody else enjoy these things or whatever. But we don't want to get stuck. Oh, I want to clarify something that just came to mind is when I meditate with that Dzogchen group out of LA, sometimes a leader will say, oh, we're just we're going to stop, take a breath, restart. I kind of wrote in my email that I thought that was not correct, but I got a different look on that. Holy Spirit had me look at that different. Is in meditating, a person could get stuck on blissiness, get stuck in bliss. They call it the hot tub of blissiness. Well, hey, that's ego, buddy. That's ego deal. Because so that's why they'll say, let's restart. So then some of us, then if your back kind of hurt, you kind of rub your back or you shake your arm or get a drink of water, start again. That is an opportunity to be aware of, I was stuck in blissiness, and bring my attention back to the big spaciousness of this clear light. Because picture is, oh, whatever. Oh, that's why it's called not too tight, not too loose. Because in meditation, ego can really warp us up, thinking, oh, I want no thought. So boy, I'm not talking about being panicked about being aware that thought was in the past, because you'll just be off wandering and not beating yourself up about it. That's what I'm talking about. You don't beat yourself up. You just pat yourself on, oh man, I became aware. I was thinking of the past. Bring your attention back, and then it wanders again. Now, if it was too tight, I was holding my mind too tight, I would be firm. I'm not, I would be straining. You can get a mental strain. I'm not having those thoughts. Maybe some have thought of some person in your life. I don't know. But see, that's not the deal. That is not the deal. Ego will warp up this deal in that we want to allow thoughts and feelings to come and go naturally. And it's called self-arise and self-liberate, but we're not talking with the word self of a separate body. We're talking on their own. They arise out of this creative energy and they will liberate if we don't grab onto them. So you're letting these thoughts and feelings come and go on this clear light mind, not too tight. Now, if it's too loose, you're like lost. You're just wandering into the past for 30 minutes. Only when they ring a bell or say, hold it, let's start again, you come back and realize you just lost 5 or 10 minutes because you're somewhere else. Now that's then the other, I really just love these these comparisons of the ocean, but another one is the sky. The sky's vast spaciousness, no center, even though here trying to get our attention back to this vertical great ray light, these holy beings will call it centered or aligned. But ultimately, you're free in that you've brought your awareness back so often, you then have kind of live in this spaciousness in your mind as you're meditating. You're not wandering off so much. So it's spacious, but I digress. So it's aligned and centered, but in this heightened awakened state, the sky, the vast mind, has no borders, no center, no edges. It's spaciousness, empty. It's empty, except for when, guess what? The weather shows up. The wind, the weather, clouds, tornadoes, hurricanes. That's called the weather shows up. Or airplanes show up, birds, airplanes. Well, those are like thoughts and feelings. And I just love this. And people tell me they love this too. When the Holy Spirit said to me, does the sky grab onto an airplane? No, no. The sky represents unconditional God mind, unconditional love that lets that airplane do what the hell it wants to do. Lets the clouds do what they want to do, stay as long as or leave. Lets the tornado show up or leave. Then but what happens as we set up this daily meditation practice with a group, because there's a group synergy, and then you're also kind of more accountable because you're sitting there, and trying to meditate for an hour. Now that's a feat for those that haven't even done 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Jesus says 30 minutes. Then you want to meditate. That's like you're never stopping because it's called unmeditation, where you're in moment to moment awareness of God's presence when you're off the cushion. That's where you're headed. But anyway, oh, the sky analogy is so beautiful. It's called sky gazing meditation, where people sit outside and look at the sky. And so you lean back, you're not fixated on a cloud or an airplane or a bird. You lean back. Get some space between you and these objects that we're all fixating on. I want to repeat that one quote where that holy person said, I love that one. It was here. Complete openness. This is not fixated, attached to anything. Now, see, complete honesty is what's required here. And I recognize in my practice years ago, I wasn't even aware of being honest about. I wasn't even aware of how much I was fixated on the past or the future because I hadn't practiced moment to moment awareness. I didn't know how to do that. So it's huge that y'all are here and trying to do this because it can save you years of work, because then you're letting go. He says here, this is Toko Urgyen Rinpoche, not fixating on anything. This is precisely the opposite of an ordinary person's frame of mind, clinging to and fixating on everything. I didn't know I was doing that. See, that's called sleepwalking. I was sleepwalking because I didn't know about all the hooks that were in my mind that I had grabbed onto of being a companion, wanting a companion, calling a family member and be real serious about their care or some past memory. But when these things show up and I'm constantly, not constantly, but during the day, if you sit back and look at what was I thinking about today, those will show you the habits, the habitual patterns you've got that you want to let go of. Who and what have you been thinking about? And what I love about it, Holy Spirit will bring them to you. And the other thing, besides you're letting thoughts and feelings come and go, is what'll happen. Holy Spirit will guide you because he will give you thoughts of what to do during that day. Because I'll get thoughts, about that pottery to let go of, call this person or that. Those thoughts I recognize, that's Holy Spirit guiding me what to do with my daily life. So in among the egoic things that are coming and going that you're learning to let go of and call God, 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 and see the clear light of essence, there are thoughts in there giving you solutions to your daily activities and your life, because you can still have partners, still have companions, still have loved ones, still go on vacation, still have clothes, still buy that new purse. You can still do these things. It's just how, we value them. Oh, it's so freeing. Nothing out there. Oh, I want to read this and then see what you're doing. You're becoming familiar with your natural essence, which is stillness. Is this stillness, but it's not fabricated stillness. This is this timeless awareness that gets cultivated and that comes about. Page 7 is Jesus. I want to read this. Chapter 18, VI 1. This is called Passing of the Dream Beyond the Body. There's nothing outside you. See, this is the theme of this whole teaching. This emptiness, this spaciousness you are, is empty. There's nothing there. Those are made up images. But here's Jesus writing it in a paragraph. There's nothing outside you. Well, what are you? That's clear light. That is what you must ultimately learn, for it's the realization that the kingdom of heaven is restored to you. For God created only this, and he did not depart from it or leave it separate from himself. The kingdom of heaven is the dwelling place of the Son of God, who left not his Father and dwells not apart from him. Heaven is not a place nor a condition. It's merely an awareness of perfect oneness and the knowledge that there's nothing else, nothing outside this oneness and nothing else within. Now, what he's talking about here, there's nothing out there. This is all made up. That's why it's called dreamlike, hallucination, illusion, delusion, insanity. You're waking up from the dream. Now, oneness is something that I now realize I don't use that word much anymore, because all that kind of gives a deterrent to me, because what I'm talking about here is beyond oneness or two-ness. It's this spaciousness that's vast and never changing. Oh, that's the other thing. Does not change. What is the commonality of all the images that you see out there? They change. That proves to yourself in a heartbeat, this stuff's not real. Because it's changing. It's so simple, but so difficult because we've gotten ingrained in the reality of these images, and because it hurts. We punch ourselves, it hurts the pain. Well, you just soften, relax through into your feelings and thoughts, into pain. You even let that soften into it, breathe in and out of it while you take your meds or do whatever you need to do. But the thing is, there's nothing out there. And Jesus says, let these thoughts come and go like a stream. Let's see how he says that one. Don't try to establish any kind of hierarchy among these thoughts and feelings. Watch them come and go as dispassionately as possible. See, he's saying the same thing that these high holy Dzogchen teachers are teaching us. And we're right at 8:09, so I should stop and call out. Let's go through every tile and we think of our brothers. This is practicing Jesus's advanced forgiveness, and Trechet is seeing through, being through to the essence, the purity, the reality of what we are. God Barbie, God Lorraine, God Angela, God Jerry, God Debbie, God Leon, God Danelle. All those that couldn't be here, listen to this on video later. We're all God. Jesus says in, I think lesson 183, call yourself by your name, which is God. Because there's only this God clear light essence everywhere, streaming through everything. All these seeming images. Any questions or thoughts before I stop the recording? Okay, Barbie, you unmute, honey.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I did use that when I was at the dentist because I have anxiety around the dentist, and I know a lot of people do. And so I did that for about 15, 20 minutes because there was nothing else to do. I couldn't meditate or whatever, so I just decided to do that. And when I did that, it got me so relaxed, I was able to fall asleep.
Is this before the dentist came to do his work, or when was
Yeah,
this?
before. They just came and they numbed me because, for the procedure. First of all, I was so shaken with getting a stick. I mean, I don't like shots, especially in your mouth, and it didn't hurt. The girl held on to me, and then I was waiting for them to come, and I just sat there, did 20 minutes, and then I was wake. I fell asleep until it was time for the procedure to start.
So you would go all like like,
Yeah, and it carried through. I mean, I didn't know I could hold my breath that long, but I had to finally he had to take another breath, but I let it go. It went so, I mean, I couldn't even hear it. It went so far.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, now tell the story about the turning universe.
Well, every time I go to bed, sometimes when I go to bed, I don't dream that much, but I see a spacious sky above me, and I rest in the peace and the stillness there. And yet last night, I mean, I knew I was still. I felt stillness, but the sky was rotating. The universe was rotating around me. It's like, okay, what's going on here now?
Okay, now were your eyes closed and you were seeing the black sky, or what were
Yeah,
you
I was
seeing?
trying to. Yeah, I was going to sleep, and this is what happens
Yes.
when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I
Oh, oh, now what this is, see, this is huge. This is really what she's describing. See, she said she felt still. What that stillness is, this is the still center of the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. And that still center, this is my insight. I don't know if this is true or not. But when the Son of God made the universe, I think there's one huge great ray that fueled the whole universe. So see, she's in the still great ray, stillness. That great ray is animating all the universe, and it's spinning. And that, because that prana light energy spins, that's how it works. And so she's in the still center of the cosmic wheel, and the universe is turning. She saw it. She was experiencing being that stillness. Way to go, Miss Barb. You are practicing, honey. And see, we can visualize that because that allows you to remember what what all this is. These are projections of that still, clear God mind radiating light out that made the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden included the universe, besides all the planets and all this other stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Way to go, Barbie. Any
Well,
other? Jerry's
thank
unmuted.
I just want to say thank you so much. That was really powerful tonight with the hook and the fish. Everything was so much clearer of how to let go. I started to go into that, just be relax and soften. It's working at this moment, but I got to practice it. I understood so much more tonight than I normally do. Thank you.
Well, way to go, Jerry. Why I think you did is because Holy Spirit's presenting to me things that I'm practicing, and I realize that's a way for a person to experience letting go of, and isn't that beautiful to picture your laying on the
Mm,
floor of the ocean? Your
yes.
body, put your body there and and relax. And see, then
Mm,
that you can walk around and live that way as you
yes.
walk around, because be at ease, feel that, just take a breath and feel that ocean wave. It moves like you can hear it, and just picture it's moving. It's bringing the thoughts and feelings,
They come and
and
go.
they come and go, and they're coming and going through you, through
Yeah.
you. We're not stopping them. And we're not labeling them good or bad. You're letting them just be. But other times you need to do something. So you do what you can, and you do the best you can, and let go and let be. And then you're off letting things come and go. Then you got to make another decision. You just do the best you can, let go. It's a rhythm, kind of a rhythm, but you're being spontaneous because these things show up in our lives. And I used to label them bad. Why the hell that show up? It just showed up. It wasn't bad or good. It just showed up. And then I have my lesson on thinking about it as God, I love you, spirit, or am I just apologize to somebody and say, I'm sorry I did that or whatever, and let things go silently, have an inner smile. Because we're not just bumps on
Right.
love, you're spontaneous. This is
Yes,
what,
I love that. Yeah. You just
and
let
that,
yeah, you're just more relaxed, so you become more of who you really are.
oh, that's it. That's what you are, naturalness. Yeah,
Yes, the
oh,
natural.
Jerry, and the sky. Then you think about the sky.
Oh,
The
yeah.
sky's natural, vast.
I am.
Oh, and the ocean's vast. Cool.
And I will thank you very much.
I will repeat
I will
those.
report back if I could hold on to this. Thank you. I will.
Well, it's called practice short moments
Short
repeated
moments.
many times.
Short
So
moments.
don't beat yourself up about how long you could practice it. Just in a moment, you were
Moment.
aware, you let go, and
Yes.
you rested, you were
Yes.
relaxed. A
Yes.
short moment. And then you
Moment.
off working, doing dishes or watching TV. But then you remember, oh, I'm going to practice a short moment. Oh, I'm on the ocean floor letting the TV politicians come and go, letting the news come and go, or that actress come and go, or something, a family member come and go. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so
thank you
freeing.
for that homework. Short moments. Short
Ye-
moments.
Repeated many
Oh,
times.
repeat it many times.
Repeated many times. That's the crux of this teaching, because that's what happened to me in the hospital when I realized I was nervous. I was thinking about the past, and then
Mm,
recognized I needed to stop and be in the moment. And then this all kind of evolved since like December 14th. See, that's about a month. Oh, it's about a month. And see, then all this gets deeper and deeper, and but more freeing, more natural, right?
thank
A
you.
natural
Thank you.
state, awakened state.
Yes.
But
Yes,
you're
I feel
becoming
ready.
familiar. and it takes some practice. Could be 6 months, a year. We got no time limit, but this could save you years. Could save 5 or 10 years. I'm not kidding. I'm not
Thank
kidding.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank you,
much.
Jerry.
Have a good
Okay.
night. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Any other thought or question before I stop the recording? This is all, people love hearing these things. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Yeah, I was thinking about when you were describing when we're in that clear light awareness and we become more authentic, more kind of spontaneous, more, in the moment, that in terms of the Course in Miracles, what came to me is we become miracle minded, that anything is possible. Miracles are there already. And because we're in that miracle mindedness of clear light.
Yes, yes. So you get insights, think differently about things, or get clearer on your practice, huh? Oh, yeah, miracles. You're right.
Yeah.
Miracle mindedness. Wow.
Yeah. Which are just expressions of love.
Yes, yes. We become more loving, spontaneous, authentic, at ease, not apprehensive. And that's why even around people we used to maybe be apprehensive or put a block up. No, just relax. Just see what they got to say. It'll come to you what to say or not say.
Yeah. And also just when you spoke about emptiness, that it's actually fullness. And so that's kind of the miracle mindedness, that it's full of potential. There's nothing, reified in it. Everything is possible in it.
Oh, oh yeah, nothing's refi, nothing solid really in it, meaning those images we thought are solid, but the potential of awakening that to that essence, your true nature, more and more and more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks, Lorraine. Yes. Oh yeah, but that's what I loved about it was it's empty of form in essence. That those are simply images we've projected out there. They're false. So in the think you can even the mind will see that they're completely filled with light or not even there. That's the big pure perception. There's nothing there. There's simply this clear light of spirit of God. And that's that flow, that prana energy when your eyes are closed, that flow you feel, that light energy. That's all there is light, creative flow of this clear light energy moving back and forth. Clearness, purity. That's the reality. But then, well, anyway. Oh, because then there's nothing to attach to. Is that the big teaching? If there's no form out there, why am I attached to it? Why am I suffering from thinking about it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that's related to what you were talking about, that we've been practicing these images of being a body. And so that's been the way we've been reifying the body and as our identity, instead of, what came to me was, sitting in meditation, and if we're in that clear light of awareness and recognizing, ourselves as not that we're just this energy, this awareness. And so then you're breaking that habit of identifying the thoughts of I'm a body.
Yes, yes. Short moments repeated many times. You're breaking the habit. Yes, yes. It's powerful. It's so simple, but so powerful. And I missed it for years.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
so we could say about nowness awareness, but how do you get it? A breath tells you, here's a moment. what am I thinking about? Am I in doing exactly whatever I'm doing, or is my mind somewhere else? Yeah, and like when I was doing my dishes, keeping my mind on the washing of the dishes, my vision would see like the rice cooker laying there. Then before I knew it, as I became aware, the mind was thinking about the rice cooker was this little red color. The lid fit so nice. It was just now starting to have a whole conversation about the rice cooker. And I'm standing right there at the sink washing a dish. And then when I bring my awareness back, what I realize happens, process this or consider this. When you're back in the moment and you're in the moment, you'll see the clear light that's there while your hands or whatever's doing. This perception, that's your God perception, sees the clear light then. Just be aware it's there right then. And then, of course, then you think about washing the dish, but it's there now. But anyway, oh, it's so beautiful. But it's so automatic how the mind will go off on its own. Then it'll look around the room and think about something else, some chair, when color of the chair, or that chair could be turned a little different, or it just goes off on a conversation about the chair, where it got bought. It'll follow all these thoughts and oh, it's wild, isn't it? We just bring our attention back to the now. And every time you do that, that's a short moment repeated many times. You build this ability to see the clear light more and more, see that spaciousness more and more, till finally it pops and you just will see the clear light everywhere. And then it comes back, you get another glimpse, comes back to more narrow focus, and it widens. It's beautiful how, oh, that was last week. You start out going small and it turns into infinity. That's your awareness. You're bringing your awareness back to the now, a simple moment, and then the miracle is it turns into infinity, which it is. It's so beautiful. Okay, thanks, Lorraine. We're going over here. Any other thoughts or comments before I stop the recording? People love this, but I think an hour and a half is a little much. Okay. Oh, again, our thoughts and prayers are with Ukraine, the Middle East, Africa, the fires in Los Angeles. Help us, Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, enlightened beings. Thank you for all those that came out this evening. Thank you.